Hi, this is Derek Sai from LearnByBlogging.com. Today I'll be showing you a little gadget that I made 3D printed to solve one of the problems that a lot of people have. If you wonder when you are holding the phone, a lot of time you have to cup the phone because the sound is coming out from underneath, from the bottom of the phone, and the microphone is right also around that area. And because of that, you almost have to cup the phone all the time. What I came up with is a little thing I call a 3D printed object. It's called the, I call this a sound damp, iPhone sound damp. And it looks like that. Basically what it does is to plug in directly into the lightning connector cable. So just plug it in. Then all of a sudden you have the automatically you have the sound damp, the sound almost acting as a deflector, a sound deflector, so that you don't have to cup your phone, cup your underneath the phone. And I thought it was pretty cool. I'm going to show you how I do it, show you some of the 3D printed object using the Tinkercad, and I'm going to show you some of the mistake I made and how to get to some of the lessons I have learned. Okay, I just want to give you a quick tour of the Tinkercad, how I made it, and you can see this on the screen that this is the design. And you hold a control key, you can take a look on all different angle. Let me look at top angle. And okay, and this is also this is the top view. As you can see, when you plug into the phone will be right over here. And let me see if I can decouple some of the design. Let me select this one, and I'll ungroup it. You see a lot of the area, all this boxes is basically to run off the surface, make it nice and smooth. Otherwise, there'll be a lot of sharp corner. And this design here, I don't want to go into too much detail, but it basically consists of this particular rectangle and basically shaving off a cylinder here, and then you can go ahead and run it off some of the corner. And this particular, the middle design, let me see if I undo it. It's a little bit complicated, and let me glue them together. So you can everything is the holes and the cylinder is consist of this area is one rectangle, and then this is another rectangle shaving off half a quarter of cylinders, and then shaving off some of the surface area. Then I combine these two together, so when you ungroup them, you'll see very clearly. I don't want to go into too much detail, but the basic design is to make sure you figure out where the base should be. When you do 3D printed object, the base area has to be pretty wide, because you don't want to build up to a wide area. It just doesn't look, it has a lot of 3D printed that cannot hang on the air, right? When you print stuff out, it cannot print. It has to be like, just like you put a building together, that area, the top cannot be too heavy, too wider than the base area. So always think about where you want to build the base. So in this particular case, originally I started out with this thing, and then I couldn't figure out how to combine them, and I looked at the object together and then decided that I can put the plane. So this is, you can put the work plane on where the area where the widest area is, and that they allow the 3D printer folks to print it from the bottom up. Okay, so basically that's how it worked. And let me see if I can go back to the side view. So this is I'm using the Tinkercad by Autodesk. Very easy to do, and it's just the hardest part is actually running off the area, the sharp corner, to make it a little bit more professional. Other than that, it's not really that complicated. And just want to watch out for any sharp rise. You don't want to have angle that's building up too sharp. Otherwise, the printer cannot build it up, because as they print it, they cannot have the material hanging on the air. Okay. The first time when I printed, I came up with two different two-piece design because I wanted to have a this is the original piece, and I want to have something that's slided in. Unfortunately, so that when I can make this a bit longer for iPad and shorter one for iPhone. And turns out the 3D printer is not very precise. When I have this hole, I wanted to slide it in. It would not fit, even though I allowed like 0.2 millimeter tolerances to it, and still would not fit very well. So the next design I have, I basically tilt it and print it directly from the bottom up. There are 4 lessons that I've learned. Is that the tolerances, this connector, you don't want to have, ideally you want to design only one piece as much as possible. Fitting 2 pieces together with the precision is just not very easy. That's first lesson. Second lesson is that you want to tilt it such a way that you always build from the widest base area and build up to the tip of the connector, where you don't have the very narrow space. So from widest area to the narrowest surface area of the connector. The other lessons I've learned is that the thickness of the connector. This fit in my iPhone 8 a little bit loose, as you can see. It's a little wobbly, a little bit loose. If you do it with the iPhone 5 I have here, and it fit very nicely, very tight. So evidently Apple have changed their connector slightly, and the thickness of the connector slightly, and this fit very nicely over here. And so the improvement I would make is probably put a little bit springy thing in the bottom here, just like a regular lightning connectors, to help hold the phone together, hold them together a little bit better. Right, so that's the other lessons learned. And I have provided the .stl file in my blog site, in my blog, LearnByBlogging.com. Feel free to download and print your own. And I'll probably design another one for iPad as well. I think they come in very handy. I often hear people using cupping the phone, or when you put this thing, like watching the TV or watching the YouTube video, and you want to sit it nicely, and then you want to have a sound that coming to you rather than to everybody else around in the room. And I think that will come in very handy. I hope that was helpful, and until next time, I'll see you. Bye now.